Hi everybody, Eddie Vegas here. I'm back. Yes, I've decided to revive my YouTube channel. And we're going to quickly review this game called Qvadriga. It is put out by Turnopia. I hope I'm saying that right. Developer, I think it's a single developer who did this on the Unity engine. It's a crazy game. It's a turn-based Roman chariot racing management game. Yeah, that's a lot. But it's really super well done. I'm really enjoying this game, so I thought I'd show you a little bit of it. And basically what you do is you're going to be making decisions on and off the track. While you're on the track, you're going to be telling your driver more or less what to do. And then off the track, you have to manage your team. So let's go ahead and take a look at the options. There are no options. There's a resolution option. And there is a sound option, on or off. I'm not sure what reset game is. I don't have the courage to do it. I can also delete my campaign. It's a rather big button to delete it. And if you have several campaigns running, you can basically click on new campaign, or you can pick one of your campaigns that you've been already playing. The credits are here. This is basically, clicking here will give you the manual, which is not very long, but it's full of good information. This will let you play a single race to kind of get your feet wet, if you like. Also, there is a demo of this game which allows you to play single races, so if you want to try that part of the game, you can. I'll be putting that link in the comments, or the description. And here is basically the button you're always going to be clicking on, is continue campaign, because campaign is much more interesting than just doing single races. So let's go ahead and continue my personal campaign. I'm going to try to remember where I was at. And here we are in the city screen. I am currently at the Trevorum racetrack, and here's a little bit of flavor text for you if you want to read. The main thing about being here is that I have an industry bonus, a half-price craftsman services, and we'll be looking at that a little bit later. Here is my local fame. I've been here for a while. I am a legendary local dude. I have 2 city victories. Here's the payout for today's race and how many teams are going to be racing. This is probably my best guy here, Suros. So he has 5 wins here, but I'm far behind the local leader here with 13 victories. I'll have to do something about that. Here's my global fame. Like, for example, you can also travel. You can also travel to other places in France, or you can elect to go to either Italy or Spain. And in fact, in the global view, there's quite a few countries you can start out at, which will give you different advantages or disadvantages depending on what country you start out. I decided to start here in France. And I could travel to another city, which would give me other bonuses. Arigas are 25% cheaper, etc. But anyway, we are going to stay where we were at here. I believe it's Trevorum here. Unfortunately, they don't highlight the city that you're at, so you have to remember where you started from. All right, so I'm going to manage my team now. Here I've got my elite guys. I've got Suros, who is his chariot has been damaged a little bit in the last race. I'm going to have to ask the craftsman to try to fix it, so I just did that. Here's my money up here. I could hire some better guys here. Now here's the skill. Actually, I should have said this before. The chariots, the whole team has 3 elements to it. It's got the driver, the chariot, and the horses, each one with different characteristics. And these characteristics are designated by the icons here. This guy has 2 stars in skill and 1 star in 1 heart in constitution, which reduces the risk of being stunned and decreases the skill reduction when taking damage, because you can crash into the other guys. I'm just going to go ahead and stick with my guys that I have. Now, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take my best driver and change him with this guy here, so that I have my best horses. My horses are over here. They have really, really good speed, and they can be whipped a little bit and still not suffer too much damage. My Chariot here has very good acceleration, excellent acceleration, and actually can withstand some damage if somebody should decide to get cute with me. So I actually have a pretty good team right here, Suros. And let's just go ahead and get right into the race. All right, so we're just getting ready to race here, and there's always an event that happens at each race, and unfortunately this time the event happened to me. One of your horses was wounded in the stables. It's going to reduce my top speed. I can also bet on myself, which is kind of fun. I have a little bit of money, so I'm going to go ahead and bet like as much. It will win me like a couple thousand. There we go, and let's go ahead and race. All right. Here is the track. You can zoom out with the mouse wheel and zoom in on your horse. I only have really two choices for my horse. I can accelerate or I can whip the horses, which will make them go faster and accelerate faster. But I have good acceleration on my Chariot, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and accelerate. And we're off. We're off to the races. Now at the beginning here, you don't really have that many choices. I could try to whip and try to get, actually I think I'm going to try to do that. Now that green area there, that will show the distance that you're going to traverse in this order, during this order. Let's just go ahead and accelerate a little bit more. This guy has decided to whip his horses. Okay, when you look down here at this guy's horse, you can see that he has like this little thing pointing out from his Chariot. This means that he's got good strength in terms of like being able to crash into me. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to get out of the way and whip the horses and try to get like some advantage. All right, that put me in the lead. Now, here's the dangerous thing. I'm going way, way, way too fast for this curve. So I could either put on the brakes, or I could swing out to give myself a little bit of a more gentle curve to handle. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over two lanes. And we can see what this guy decided to do. He decided to go over one lane. So that means I'm blocking him, which is good. I just took some damage on my wheel. That's that little good-chunk sound. Unfortunately, it's really hard to tell, but this is ever so slightly less green than this. But anyway, once it starts getting bad, I think I'm going to just swing out one more lane and try to take it easy on my horses, because I have this guy blocked, which is good. We are doing quite well. I think I'm going to just try to get a little bit of an advantage. This guy here, he ordered his horses to not to protect against people trying to crash into him, which is kind of dumb, but whatever. All right, I have a perfect run there, so I'm just going to go ahead and ensure stability. Now, I could crash to the left, or I could lacerate to the left. Lacerate means you hit your whip over at the other horses. But I'm doing great. I'm going to just control stability. And I'm going to control stability. I'm doing great. I'm way, way ahead. Everything's cool. Okay, looking good. We will whip the horses a little bit to kind of get a little bit of an advantage on this guy. We don't want him to catch up too much. And we're going into that turn quite well. So we just go ahead and control. And that's looking like really good, to tell you the truth. I think I'm just going to go ahead and keep this guy blocked. Everybody seems to be on the outside. That's good. Now, this is dangerous to whip them too much, but I'm going to go ahead and try it here. We'll zoom in on my guy. Yeah, we can see that this guy here is just ever so slightly injured. And this is looking pretty good for this area right here. We'll go ahead and control stability. And that looks just perfect. That's going to get me on the straightaway. And we'll try one final whip once we get past. There I injured my horse. This guy. Or perhaps it was this guy. I don't know. Okay, we're looking good. Yeah, we'll continue. Now, I just want to point out, I mean, you guys are just watching one race, and it looks like, well, this is a pretty easy game, but it really is not an easy game. There's lots of different racetracks you can be on, and all kinds of different situations you can find yourself in, and sometimes you're doing really good to just finish the race, period, because things just don't go your way. But this one here, I'm really lucky in that I was able to basically get out in front, and I don't have to worry about people crashing into me. This guy is definitely catching up, so let's go ahead and whip. We definitely need to try to get a little bit of... Unfortunately, I had to whip my horses here, and now this guy is injured too. Not good. We are near the finish line, so I'm just going to go ahead and whip just to be absolutely sure that we win the race. And that's it. Victory. 7,680 denarii plus my bet for winning. I'm happy. And we're back to the city screen. All right, here we are back in the management screen after the city screen. And during the race, Luglios, well, in fact, this was a heavily damaged Chariot in the last time, so it's going to require more than one race to fix it. I'm going to go ahead and pay the money. I'm really happy about Suros that won the race, but he did damage his horses, so it's going to require some time. Now, this yellow damage here, usually this will just get repaired by itself. If you happen to damage your horses worse than that, you'll have to go to the veterinarian and pay some money to get them fixed up a little bit faster. And I could be buying myself a new Chariot or some new horses, but I'm pretty happy with the horses I have. One thing I forgot to mention is that these guys will level up as they get experience. I believe I started with all these guys were basically started with just the skill, and they've all gained 1 point in Constitution. And the more they drive, the more they're going to go up in skill, and the more they'll be worth. Yeah, that's about it for that. Now for the final conclusions. All right, here I've gone to another country. I've gone to Spain, and funnily enough, my local fame is renowned, even though I've just arrived here. One of the things that I wanted to point out is that here's my final analysis of the game, is that the game is like really fun, and it's perfect for just little short stretches where you just want to do 3 or 4 races, and then you're off to do something else. It's very light in terms of resources with the Unity engine. It's, of course, there's no animation to speak of. But at the same time, the gameplay is really solid. The one thing I will ding them for is perhaps still lacking a little bit in presentation. Like, for example, I suggested on the forums that you know, when your local fame goes up, that you could color these letters, like, you know, differently to give the player some sort of sense of progression here. The same thing in the management screen. I really find these black icons to be kind of drab and just kind of blah. I think they could have colored them up, but that's just my personal opinion. But this is the sort of thing where I think they could have really done like a lot more, for example, to differentiate the horses. Like, for example, these guys are cheap horses, but these guys are expensive horses, and you just have to know. You have to look in the manual to find out that they're good. And same thing with the chariots. Although all my chariots are pretty much the same, but I'd be willing to bet you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference between this chariot, which has two acceleration things, and this chariot over here that has two acceleration and one solidity. It's really hard to tell the difference. So that's the kind of thing, like little dinky things that kind of I don't like about it. I'm here in another country, and the background is a little bit different, but I think they could have really done a lot more to make you feel that you've gone to a whole nother country. For example, the city screen looks kind of, here's a picture of the track, but it doesn't really look that much different than being in France. I think it could have done a little bit more on that. But then again, that's just like extra stuff that I wish it had to make it more fun, like giving me a sense of progression by seeing these letters get colored up and stuff. Other than that, the solidity, I mean, the game is solid. So yeah, that's going to do it for me, Eddie Vegas, and thanks for watching, and see you next time.